I see that that is a little dusty. Let's try this guy. There we go. Howdy, folks. I'm going to turn this compressor off real quick. Get that to stop leaking. Howdy. I'm Dave. I'm a woodturner. I started this channel to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator, to help turners of all skill levels become better turners, as well as myself. I am always practicing and working on stuff. I'm always willing to learn uh, some new technique, see if it fits in my toolkit, and or modify it if it doesn't, and then pass that on to folks like you. Right now, I am. Thanks for joining me, by the way, on Woodturning Wednesday. I appreciate it. Please follow the channel and drop a hello in chat for me. I'd appreciate that. That would really help support the channel. So I'm working on this this chuck here. Trying to get the sliders to engage in the right order. I don't know that that will be it. That one is too far out. Okay. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. I've got a couple of neat projects. I've got some little 3-inch bowls that I want to continue working and finishing. And then I've got a 13-inch ash crotchwood bowl that's been seasoned for quite a while. So it's pretty hard. And I started it off on a glue block, and it popped off my glue block, oddly enough. Oh, hey, that might actually have it right there. Let's see. These aren't numbered on this particular chuck, which is kind of a drag. I should probably grab a number punch at some point and punch these. It would make it easier to get them to line up. Let's see. Yes, they right. So they meet in the middle. That was my goal. I was having just a little bit of trouble earlier getting them to slide in the right order. Okay, so this is number 2. At least the jaws are numbered and the little lands for the jaws are numbered. It's just that these sliders aren't, so I need to rectify that. Let's see, that's number 3. That way I can, I could have swapped jaws to the other chuck and left this to the side, but it still would have meant I had to remove the jaws from the other chuck and take these off and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so since I was having a little trouble, seemed like the internal parts were, had some sawdust or something in there, was kind of hanging up a little bit and making it difficult to tighten down. So I took it all apart. And I added a little bit of this lanolin spray in there. I think this chuck has never been lubed, and there was nothing in the manual that came with it about that, and I suspect that there wouldn't have been anyway because the back of this chuck is open. So it's not sealed like the Vicmar truck I have, and I'm just saying that the Vicmar is, I mean, it's got a cover on the back, right? There's no O-ring or whatever, but it's still covered, sealed. This one is not. I really hesitated about putting a little bit of this lanolin in there, but because I think it might actually attract some sawdust. But things are moving much easier now, it seems. So maybe it wasn't something that will cause problems down the road later to clean. Good thing is this is lanolin, and this lanolin mixture is supposed to make things a little rust resistant and get rid of some rust. There was a little bit of rust on the screws here. It looks like that's been taken off. Okay, let me put this guy away so I don't lose that. If y'all are in the area of Elk Rapids, Michigan, Saturday, I will be at Twisted Fish Gallery from 10 till 5, doing all-day demos, turning, stuff like that. Talking to folks. It's all part of Artbeat. That is a semi-annual thing, that a semi-annual event that a couple of galleries put on together. Basically, they have these little gifts, and like a little, not a punch card, but like a check card is something like that. You visit each of the galleries, and then you get some certain prize. I'm not sure what that is, but it's a lot of fun, and there's food and drink. And hey, I'll be there, so I'd love to see you. All right, I do need to use this as a jam chuck of sorts. It would be kind of similar to using a glue block, but I have these bowls. Since these bowls are so small, I just need a small area to hold on to them so I can finish the foot when I get to that point. But I want to round this edge over a little bit. And of course, I put my spindle gouge away because I was not going to use that. Or did I? Maybe it's on the other lathe. It would not have fallen down to go boom. Oh, I know what I did with it. I'm getting ready. I was also getting ready a little bit earlier to go to the tech center here in town tomorrow. Our turning club here, Northwest Michigan Woodturners, has an agreement with the school that we can hold our meetings there on the second Saturday of every month. And they provide us that space, and then as trade, I guess you could say, barter, we send turners over there on during the school year. I've done it. I myself have done it for, golly, how long? I mean, 5 or 6 years. 6 years, I guess. But we get to work with high school students, 11th and 12th graders. Our club meets in it is the construction trades part of the building that we meet, and where we have some lathes set up well, rather the school has them. We have the club lathe there too, but the school has lathes set up for us to work with students right there on the spot. So I think it is a blast. And working with the kids. We've actually over the years had a few students join the club, become at least hobby turners. So that's been really cool. I don't really believe. I don't know. I guess if I put too much pressure on this will mark those bowls, but I'm not expecting that. I should mark this die though. Let's see. What do we got here? It's great. I cannot read them 3 and 4, so we'll go to 1 and 2 on this chuck. I like to find the gap between the jaws on the chuck, if there is one, and mark when I need to be able to put a piece back on in the same spot and hope that it, runs true and I don't have to true things up again. So I usually pick the hole that's closest to either 1, 2, or 1, 4, however that is numbered on the chuck. On this one, it is 1 and 2. On the Vic Mark, it's 1 and 4, but same concept. That way I can take. Do I need to take that out though? Because yes, I do. I need to hold on to the bowls to do the inside. So this guy can sit there for a minute. So what got me into the chuck maintenance today partially was this guy because last night I was having some trouble. Why is there a blurry spot? I was having a little trouble tightening down on some. I mean, it was kiln dried maple, but I was just having some issue. That might be the light. Getting the chuck itself tightened down. But this guy, well, now we'll talk about the big one later. Let's get these guys working here. I could actually sand these, do the foot, turn it around. Well, no. So I turned these green. This one actually did go a little bit oval. I'm all right with that. So that makes me wonder now. Let's see. That one went a little bit oval. So they all should go a little bit oval. I'm hoping, though, that they haven't cracked. It doesn't look like there are any cracks. These were just branches that I cut in half, 4-inch branches, I guess, that I cut down the pith and then turned these bowls. So I got rid of most of the pith, almost all of it. Some of this, well, I mean, the very center of the pith is gone except for this guy. This guy needs to go. That one's all right. So pretty much they're all the pith is gone. We've got this cool coloration in this maple, so that's nice. And I want to try to preserve all that. This kind of has like a green. It looks like green moss, but I do know that this is part of the spalting process of maple. So this fungus, which will dry out and be dead, and then be sanitized more or less once the finish is put on. Whoops. I want to try to save as much of that color as I can. So let's see. I really should do the outside of the bowl first. Let's see. I need to find a bit of a place to park some tools here. So that means this guy does need to stay in here. Get the live center up here. Let's see, let's get rid of that pencil. I'm going to need some abrasive if I don't already have it over on the lathe, which does not appear that I do. What's this guy? That's 220. Let's go with this. Alrighty then. You probably also noticed that there's no tunes happening, but part of that is the lag of things happening here, and it shut down asking for, and it does this every couple of weeks, asking for login credentials, and I did not supply them today because I started working on these trucks. Okay, so I know I've got that center point there on all of these, so I should be able to center these up pretty easy. Let's give it a little more room. I think it would make sense to do that. Okay, that appears to be a little bit off. Yep. So they're going to be a little bit oval, but I'm checking the ovalicity, I guess. Let's pick a word, the opposite side, so that where it's ovaled out, I can see or feel that it meets at the same spot 180 degrees around, so I don't have too thin of a wall on one side. Okay, that one is too far out. Oval, oval. There we go. That will work. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do this with my spindle gouge, and I will do the outside of the bowl. I'm going to have to do this apparently, unless I can think of a way. Let me think about this. I'm trying to not have to turn it too many doggone times. That may be just where I left my, well, no. Yeah, I'm going to have to do the bottoms, take this dude out, grip it, do the inside, finish, turn around, finish the foot. How can I combine that? I mean, if I do the inside first, I could match the outside wall. But it's always a little bit easier to match the inside wall to the outside wall as opposed to the other way around. So we will just move them around twice unless something comes to mind for me. I want to cut this leather. So I've had a couple people over the last couple of months ask me for smaller sized bowls, and that's why I'm making a few. Because I have run out. And I think what I will do is I will take this guy and we will do our best to strap this down. Wrong direction, since the lathe is turning this way. So what I want is, if this tag end starts to flap, since the lathe is turning into it, hopefully it'll keep it in place. But these would be some really nice white-ish. I mean, it is a, I don't know, do they call that clear maple? This is more of a, I think this is more of a sugar maple. But it's got a nice cream color to it, so I was expecting it to be a little bit darker. So, I mean, either way it would have been fine, but it was just kind of nice find to find that I can turn, what is it, 6 bowls out of a creamier colored maple. All right, now we'll take that one off. Move on to the next one in line. Get that trued up. Oh, shoot. You know what? I didn't actually get that other one trued up properly. I just realized that I did nothing with the foot that's there. We need to true that up as well so that the chuck itself will have a round surface to grip onto as opposed to an oval. There we go. Oh, I could take it further down though. Let's do that. There, that way when it's in the chuck, in theory, this center that's going to be in the jaws will be the same center as that point. That's really high right on that side. Pretty close. It should go quicker now. I guess I could clean that up. So the jaws have a flat place to register on. I should have sanded that one. I will do that after this. That looks pretty close. Yep. I don't know if it benefits. Let's see. Let's turn this guy off. Turn this guy on. A little bit. All right. Let's try this. See if that helps you get a. Although it kills my vision. And that's not a good idea. So, let's see. What would happen if I did this? How bad does it wash it out? Not too bad. And I get light where I need it. Okay. I'll take it. Yeah, that'll work. Bring the second bowl back to sand that guy. Whoops. Let's see, I think I'm going to grab my, if I knew where I set it. Where did you set it, Dave? Oh, Dave. Oh, yeah, right behind me, I believe. Yep, there it is. Grab my little sanding paddle so that make it a little easier to hit the right spots with the abrasive. Well, let's get a little bit more right up in here. There we go. I have not actually tried to do production turn of bowls like this before, so this is kind of interesting. Got some cross grain there, end grain that definitely wants me to cut with the grain. Doing some scraping, shear scraping, and pull cuts to get the shape I'm after, as well as trimming up the piece. And this one definitely did not like me going uphill to the grain, so I had to change my approach. Okay. Very cool. So I had some aspects of it set up already. I think I might take a look at or contact a couple of production bolt turners that I know. And maybe get some ideas on how to speed this bit up. All right, that's nice. Where I don't have to, turn around. I had to true the outside, then I'll have to true the inside, match that wall thickness, then turn it around and cut that foot. I was trying to think of a way to avoid one of those spins. And the only way, I could do it. I could. It's not that big of a deal. It's just easier, as I said, to match, to have your outside wall thickness and then match your inside wall thickness to the outside. I've done it both ways, where I've trued up the inside and then matched the outside wall thickness, but it can be a little trickier. It's a little too far, I think. Let's see, is that one? No, that's close. There we go, that's better. Well, let's just go. Further up the bowl, I can actually transition into a push cut. So that's helpful. Yeah, it's starting to speed up a little bit. All right. I did just take away my little shelf, didn't I? So let's make a new one. I need the top of the jaws to register on that flat that I just made. And that's maybe a 1/16 of an inch. I don't need much. I just need the flat top of the jaws that is able to sit on top. I don't want to bottom these out in the chuck because this is not a flat surface. I want to always try to avoid that and just have it enough into the jaws. The jaws get a good grip, but again, it's not bouncing off the bottom. The inside of the jaws there, it never wants to work out well. That's close. Okay, there's a spot, and there's a spot, and I need to go that way, I think, a little. Maybe too much. There's a spot, I think a little too much. Let's try that. It could be a little, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's more difficult. I guess it could be, if, depending on what drop, okay. Depending on, eyesight, or maybe it shouldn't matter about that. I don't think. There are blind wood turners, so huh. However you determine what your shape is that you would like it to be, by sight, by feel, by sound. However that works for you, that's how you should do it. Oh, that's a little bit tapered. There we go. Did I sand this guy? I did not. So 2 bowls left to sand. Looks like I missed one. Let's pick up that key. Move him back there. Fresh piece of abrasive. That won't be good. One thing I have learned over the years is that don't be afraid to get a fresh piece of sandpaper. Don't be afraid to toss it out. I've heard some people say, or a belief from some people, that if you use a piece of abrasive, the particles break down. So say if you got 150, the particles after you're done using it, 150 makes it like a 220 sandpaper or something like that. And unfortunately, that's not how it works. the abrasives that are put onto sandpapers or whatever substrate it is are screened and graded. And as the so that 220 grit, that's whatever that mesh size is, that they call 220 grit. That's what gets through and gets deposited onto the abrasive substrate. But abrasives don't typically break down in a uniform fashion because they're kind of all at different angles and stuff like that. So as it breaks down, you might have one that turns into a larger chunk. Say it's if you start at 150, one of the particles or turns into 180, and then like a chunk the size of 180, and then the other ones get smaller and irregular. So you got one that's not the same size as the rest, and that's typically how the sandpaper just breaks down as it goes. It takes off the top layer, the top sharp part, and as that breaks down, it exposes little other sharp spots until it's just kind of worn out. And this, if you felt it, you could say, oh yeah, that might be like 400 grit. Well, no. The problem is like all the sharp points are pretty much gone now in this area. There's nothing left to sand with. Not really. It's very little there. So don't be afraid to throw away your sandpaper. Don't fall into that trap of thinking, well, I used it, so that means the grit has, gotten smaller because it's broken down, but it doesn't break down evenly or uniformly. Okay, let's bring back this one bowl that I passed over for sanding. There was at least two like that, weren't there? Whoops. You are not running true now. That would be the spot right there. There we go. And I got my little registration point there. So now I can take this guy out. And I'm going to leave this in place since I'm going to use it again. Set that aside. Now we'll go for the internal part. Let's see, I don't have, do I have? I don't think I've got a bowl gouge smaller than 5/8. I thought that was a problem. Got a place in the teeth here that a little spot that I got to get past every now and then because it doesn't mesh well with the key. But it does turn a lot nicer now that I've got it cleaned up a little bit. Okay. Put that aside. So let's take a look at this. I might be able to do, well, I probably could do it with, let's go with the bowl gouge first. 5/8. There we go. So I think I might try, I was getting just a little bit of tear out using my negative rate scraper when these bowls were green and wet. Which is why I went for the bowl gouge first, but here we go. I like that thickness. But I think I'm going to try it. I'm really just trying to avoid sanding the inside. See, do I need a burr on that? Yes, I do. Well, let's get the bigger one. Whoops. Got things in my way over here that I forgot to move aside. Okay, there's that guy, and then I need, oh yeah, that's in this bag too. Right? Yes, no? Oh, right, it's down here. Okay, let's see, I need a fresh burr on this scraper. After that, I think I'll try to pull a burr. Yeah, I think I will go with the larger scraper. Trying to limit my sanding is basically the premise here. Oh, that looks nice. And those edges over. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, cool. So that's bowl number 1. Hopefully they'll all go this quickly. Yeah, that's nice, even thickness. That's good. Good, good, good. So now we'll go strictly bowl gouge and compare the two. Check, and I think that it's sharp enough. Seems like that's turning out just as bad. Yep. Wall thickness is almost there though. That's a good wall thickness. Turning my tool up on end seemed to help a lot to expose that burr more directly to the wood. I see that I've got to clean that up now. And those corners off. Really light touch in there. There we go. You know, I should be doing this. Okay, don't need a shining paddle for that now. It's not too bad, but I'll have to get a little abrasive in there, it looks like. I think I will try to make a ball shaped backing pad to take care of that. Inside of these bowls where I need to. This one doesn't appear to need it. Didn't fuzz up too bad. This got a little bit of tear out right there. I mean, it would probably sand out real fast too. And I'm gonna jump out on a limb and say, I need to sharpen my bowl gouge. Yep. So I'll jump on that real quick. I have several sharpened as I usually do, but I'm trying not to use them because I'll be needing them tomorrow and I'd rather not. I guess I'm just being lazy. Try not to have to sharpen too many things tonight. Here's a grinder there, but it's not the best grinder, and the kids have used the grinder for several things, so it's not in the best shape either. But as a last resort, if I really need to sharpen something, I can do that there. But what I like to do is pre-sharpen the day before, at least, at the very least. It's almost there. And then hone my tools. And that usually keeps the edge pretty good for a while. These shadows are killing me, man. I got to make sure. There we go. I think I got it. Show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. I got to make sure that the bottom of my flute is right at the point. So seeing shadows and all that kind of makes it a little difficult. Sometimes I'll look at the front here, the front profile. I do want to look down the flute and see that curved profile is right at the tip, the bottom of it. Let's see, I've got just a little bit that I got to clean up. But you want your flute, where your curve is at, to be right at the bottom of the flute. Otherwise, you're not really going to be cutting well, and the tool's going to want to try to wander on you. The bevel tells you where the tool wants to travel. Did I get it? Just about. But if the bevel's off to one side, it's not going to want to track true, and you can catch it easier that way. So I want that profile to show up right in the bottom of the flute. There we go. And the nice thing is I've got a Wolverine jig. I do want to learn how to do this just by hand and by feel and all that. And I'm sure that I could pick that up. I work with, on my bowl gouges, a 60-degree Jameson grind. It's based off the Ellsworth grind. Lyle Jameson, who was my mentor, worked with David Ellsworth as his mentor for a while, and so that's where he got his idea for his particular grind. But I do know that a traditional, doggone it, I got shadows I got lights, but I got too many shadows too, so I need to clean this up. I want to be particular about my tools because I want to have successful cuts. And I want those cuts to be repeatable, so all part of building your tool skills. So I get really particular on what the grind looks like. I want my wings to be fairly straight, not curved or humped or sunk in, and I want that straight edge to go all the way around. So with a 60-degree traditional grind, which I'm sure that I could pick up pretty quickly and be able to do by hand, I'm sure that I would have similar results turning with it, I think. So I will eventually learn to hand sharpen without needing a jig. All right, what is the deal here? Oh, the tool rest is a little high. See if I can take it down a little bit more. Looks okay. This one I definitely want to clean up. Scraper. We got a bit. A bit of a catch from the upper wing because my tool rest was up too high and I caught the rim of the bowl. There we go. That's even thickness. And that's pretty clean. I'm going to lean this. Lean this guy up and try to contact just the burr. I mean more of just the burr. I am trying to cut with just the burr. That's why my handle is up so that my cutting surface is less than 90 degrees to the face of my material. And that curve a little bit. There we go. Yeah, lovely. All right, let's sand this guy. I did do these two. Yes. That one's sanded. That one's sanded. There we go. Next up. The audio's still working? Yes, the audio's still working. When I put my microphones away last night, I could not remember if I swapped their places in the charging case. So I'm not sure if I'm using the microphone from last night. Although these are supposed to last for 7 hours, so it shouldn't be an issue. Much better cut. I'll go a little bit thinner. Actually, I'd go a lot thinner if I want to. This. Anyway, there's tons of grinds for tools. You know, everybody uses something a little different, I guess. There's some people that like the 40-40 grind, and that's 40-degree bevel, and then the heel is basically ground off at about 40 degrees. Some people like to do a triple bevel. Some people like to round the whole thing and polish it. You know, 50-degree grind, 60-degree grind. There's all kinds of grinds. The bottom feeder grind is what I think it's 80 degrees, between 70 and 80. That's a nice tool to have in some situations, but I don't know that I'd use it enough to warrant having an extra piece of tool steel hanging around. It only has one job. I'm not against it. I mean, there are tools that are out there that only have one job, but they do that job really flipping well. I don't believe that slip joint pliers are actually in that genre. I don't think they do their job really well. They were an answer to adjustable pliers. I guess if you get, you know, I guess I haven't found that to be completely true with the more expensive model of slip joint pliers, but after a while, even they all wear out. But the cheaper ones wear out faster and slide by. Anyway, Yep, that is a good wall thickness. Pretty even. What are we doing on time? 9 o'clock. Alrighty. You know, it occurs to me I should probably check. I think I am broadcasting, but there does not seem to be anyone on. So let me double check my Instagram. Not Instagram, Dave. Twitch. We're on Twitch, remember? Alright, yep, I am broadcasting, so that works. Or at least it's getting out to the internet. Okay. Let's see. Got one more after this. A little bit thinner. There we go. Now it's fairly even. Very good. Moving right along. Yes. Want to get this bigger bowl back up here too. It's a nice piece of ash crotchwood. But I think I probably should have caught this particular piece when it was green. I split the log when it was green. I just didn't turn it right away, at least this half. So it's been hanging around for a while. There we go. I guess if I'm going to do a bunch of these, I might consider getting a 1/2-inch bowl gouge. key? Where's the key? There's the key. Alrighty, now we're on to turning these dudes around and dealing with the foot. Let's get rid of that abrasive. I need this guy back. Let's see, this is 3 and 4, so I need 1 and 2, and my mark at 1 and 2. Alrighty. Or do I want to, let's see. Bring up the tailstock. That might be too low for what I want. Let's see, I don't need you now, so I'm going to put my large negative rake scraper away. See if we're running true here. Not quite. Well, not quite. I went too far that time. Yep. That'll do it. Do you like turning maple? I gotta make sure I got a little bit of a concave bottom so that the bowl sits on the outer edge of the foot. In theory, that will keep it sitting flat. Let's see, I think I'll round that over. I'm trying to decide. You know what? No, we'll just leave it. What I was going to do with the foot, if I was going to take it down even more. Or instead, I'll give it a rounded profile. It's about as thick as the rim of the bowl. I was trying to decide whether I should make it, almost invisible. But I don't want the foot to be more than that height right there, to be more than the thickness of the bowl, because then it looks kind of clunky. And I want to avoid that. Let's see, I needed a new piece of abrasive, so let's grab that. I don't know if anybody's hanging out with me or not. Not really sure. Nothing seeing in chat there, but a lot of times I will slow down to sand. I'm only bringing it up because I have not slowed down the lathe for these bowls, and the sanding seems to be going really, really well. So, and I'm not creating a lot of friction, not heating up the wood. I got a really light touch, so I don't feel the need to. Okay, let's move that center finder. The need to slow the lathe down because I'm not pushing the abrasive against the wood very hard. Yeah, I guess I could probably get away with putting these in the chuck to turn this off. Maybe. Well, it would have been the other chuck anyway. So for that little bit of sanding, I should actually run the compressor while I do that, or at least, let's see, I got to double check my air pressure. We'll grab a little body sander here. This works really nicely for tight spots. I'm not trying to run it at super high speed either, because again, I don't want to create a bunch of heat. Run the risk of getting any heat checks. There we go. That works just fine. Oh, let's get a little bit. I felt a little bit with my thumb there. Whoops, too fast. Plus, with this particular, these roll-lock discs, especially these 1-inch, if you spin it really fast, it wants to cut into the wood. And I don't want it to cut into the wood. I just want to remove, just do some sanding. So, come on, Dave, think. So I keep it at a low speed. I'm going to have to start my compressor. I'm also going to grab this guy. So I can sand them nice. That one's done. Let's move this saw aside. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, let's see. Where did I need to move this? There we go. So I think I'll make that my foot, except I really need this running a little bit better than that. That's up too high. Because it appears that I did not finish this foot while I had it facing the other way. That one a bit of a rounded edge, we will then cut in a little groove. I like adding a little bit of detail to the bottom anyway. Just not leave it all plain Jane, that's kind of boring. I know a fella who does it because he says that way it looks like it was not manufactured by a machine. Well, I mean, I guess I see your point. You know, you buy them at you know, buy the cheaply made bowls from Bali or Thailand or India or wherever they can pay the least. So you get those at your stores like you know, home stores, Walmart, stuff like that. Doesn't make them bad, they're just machine made, but they also can cut grooves in it. So I just like to add a little bit of detail, a little bit more detail to it. Thought I lost the bowl. I was only counting 3 over here. And one of them is tucked into the other, another one. There. That one's done. That's better. I'm going to go with this foot, this size foot. Round that over a little bit, get my concave surface. Make a little detail groove, detail mark. There we go. Alright. I don't know if it's just me, but this does seem to be going a little bit quicker. Okay, so you know what? I think I want to grab a different saw. I've got a very, very thin kerf fine tooth saw in this area over here, if I can locate it. That's not it. Oh, you know what? Actually, yeah, I forgot about this. Let's see what this will do. Forgot I had this mini parting tool. Haven't used it much. I haven't had a reason to, but these are smaller pieces and smaller tenons, so move this back a bit. Yeah, let's give that a try. Hey, nice. Don't usually part it off like that, but that'll work. Yeah, that worked out nicely. So maybe this little parting tool will be a useful tool after all. I'm rather dubious about it because it's a 1/16 of an inch in width, and it's carbon steel. Not carbon steel, high-speed steel, but it's 1/16 of an inch, but it's not a very big blade, so I don't want to, what does it say, 5/16 in width. So I want to be very careful where I use it because it could snap. So I haven't used it on any larger pieces because there just really wasn't the reach for it. Okay, so maybe going to a 45 will be a good idea. Let's move that. Alright, let's go the other direction. See what that does. There we go. Now that edge over, let's put a detail mark in there. Oh, before I part it off, hello. Posts. No, I don't like. I want a little bit more of a concave foot than what I've got. There we go. That should do it. Plus, I think it'd be really easy to get this bound up in the whatever material I'm parting off. That always worries me. Because that means the lathe is trying to take the tool away from me. And that could be a bad thing. So I want to mind my clearances, the wings of tools, I want to mind that. My ABCs, anchor bevel cut. 2 more bowls to go. It doesn't quite look right. That's better. You know what? I will take that all the way down to that foot. Round that off. There we go. Make it a tad bit more concave. A little detail groove. Just a little bit of sanding. Yeah, this little parting tool is highly aggressive, man. It works really well. It's really aggressive, though. I bet this little parting tool would work really, really well for like pen turnings and stuff like that. It's working for this too, but I couldn't see using it on something bigger. And last one. We'll keep that, I think. I'll keep that foot right there. Trying to get this, there we go, conform to the side. Now we can part that off. Not yet. I want a little more concave. Groovy. Cool. That's all 6 bulls. We'll set those aside. There's the key. I like keeping this little strip of Velcro on the lathe because I use it for stuff like this, or if I've got a bag over a piece of green timber, if I've got to leave it for some reason for a little while, I can put the bag over it and then seal the bag at the headstock, more or less. I mean, there's still a through hole through the headstock, but I can seal it up to that point. That's where that's supposed to go. You go over here. All right, so we're moving on to this bigger bowl. I'm glad I took care of these two chucks because that really made a difference. So I had started this bowl off on a glue block. Oh man, this thing's gonna drive me nuts. I keep hearing this hiss. And then the compressor kicks off because it's losing air. Okay, can put this guy away. So I started this larger bowl, and this is at the limit of my lathe. This is a 13-inch bowl. Now, this is called a 1440. This particular lathe model is called a 1440, but I don't actually have 14 inches of swing. I've got 13 and a half. So this 13-inch bowl is the biggest I can do on this lathe. Oh, I gotta find the center there. The biggest I can do on the lathe, unless I go outboard. And I have done that early on when I first got this lathe, partially because of physical limitations. When I started turning, I was actually sitting down most of the time, which is why I got this lathe, because this headstock here rotates 360 degrees. So I could turn outboard if I want to, which I did. But I used to sit down and turn the headstock this way, and I could still turn. That's why I bought this lathe. I saw a very similar thing, the Robust. And they were, when I was in the market for lathes, were really pushing their lathe because the whole lathe bed tilted. And they had a veteran in a wheelchair as part of the promotional video as to why they made these, not necessarily for veterans specifically or primarily, but they had a veteran in the promotion. And I thought, hey, that's a really good idea. I could really use something like that, because at the time, and it's taken quite a few years, but at the time, I wasn't standing very well at all, especially for long periods. It's still a little bit out of balance. That's a bummer. Although I may also be slightly off center. Let's see. A little bit. Where's the heavy end? Here it comes. All right, so I'm going to lift this side up a little bit. Still going to be heavy there, but hopefully that, nope. All right. We'll go with the outside diameter. I had the bowl already sanded on the outside. I was using a glue block on this dude. And it came off the glue block, that's the first time that's ever happened to me. So now I have to re-true up the outside because it got some gouges in it for coming off. It did smack my hand right here as it was coming off the lathe. I wasn't in the line of fire. I was turning on it, and so it did smack my hand as it went by. So thankfully, I wasn't in the way. Dang it, I don't think that did it either. But my sanding work was was toast at that point. Oh, that's close. Not much, really. This bowl is a seasoned piece of wood, so I'm not thinking that this is out of balance because it's green. It's out of balance because I haven't found the right center. This particular piece of timber has been in my shop for, oh gosh, well, at least 4 years, probably more. Really nice piece of crotch wood. That honestly, I'll be honest, I wish that I had, because it's so stinking hard, I wish that I had turned it green. But that's okay. We're here now. So I need to get rid of all this glue. Well, let's see. Hold on. Let's make sure this is secure. Nope. Okay. And I'm at 800. I'm going to turn it down, which I can do with this Reeves drive pretty easily because I just got to spin this while I turn my little knob. Get the rest of this stuff off of the lathe so I don't have to pick it up off of the floor. And I'm going to get rid of that. Glue. I've set my Vicmark chuck up with the larger jaws, and that's how I'm going to hold it this time. I didn't want to put the glue block back on because this is just a massive this is pretty heavy timber, and I am pushing the limits of this lathe. Let's see, that should be good enough. Then I can do what can I do? Let's see, I want to do that. Will it clear all the way around? Nope. Now it will. So I'm going to work at truing this up. So I'm not really watching my tool. And the reason for that is because I've had the practice. And I've got the body, the muscle memory pretty well entrenched. I'm watching the ghost over here. So even though I'm coming in with a pull cut and then transitioning into a push cut, because I spent the time practicing, I really don't have to watch the tool so much. That's really out around. But with practice, you can get here too. You just need to get your basics down really, really well. So part of it is I'm getting some vibration on the piece, but it's just about trued up. So I'm going to see what I can, if I can get away with turning it up a little bit. I think I'll stand up, not that side. If that comes off the way, it's going to go that way. All right, that kind of takes care of some of the vibration, being able to speed it up a little. Let's see, I got to be able to move this handle out of my way. So let's just do this. I need to true this up anyway. Oops, wrong way, Dave. I meant to tighten my tool rest post down and instead loosened it. So I am really hoping not to take too much diameter off this bowl. Yeah, things are just leaving the lathe because of the vibration this is causing. Once I get this thing turned around, you'll see what I mean. It's really, really lovely timber. You'll see the crotch running through the center. Is that going to clear all the way around? All right, so it's not quite true. I'm going against the grain there just for a sec. I wanted to clean up my rim. Now I need to start working my tool marks out. So I've done a little bit of scraping. I'm going to do some shear scraping next, but I want to see where I might have. Okay, so I got a little bit of tear out there, a little bit of tear out there. Nothing serious. Let's see, I did hit this with CA glue. It's still very hard, so I haven't broken through to the inside of this bark inclusion where it's soft. So that's a bonus. Okay, I'm going into some shear scraping here. I really don't need the handle, but I've got another bowl gouge steel over here that should be, yep. I keep one older piece of bowl gouge steel just for things like this, just to do shear scraping, because it doesn't need a handle. I can take this one out of the handle too, and I will when this gets dull, but yeah, this is a very, very safe cut. So a handle really isn't necessary if you follow all the rules, the ABCs, all that stuff. going to have to sand this guy a little bit, but I want to limit the amount of sanding so you can see the difference between there and here, and that's just shear scraping all of that, and no tear out. Nice. Got some beetle stuff in it though. There's some beetle marks, and I think yeah, there's another one. So there is some ash borer beetle marks in here. I'm going to assume it was ash borer since this is ash. Okay, I need to bring this over here, so sorry about the white out, but I really need the light. So I'm knocking off all the high points and then getting the surface I just finished to blend in with this one. Getting super fine shavings. See how that looks. So all that tear out is gone, so I just got to work on this stuff. And let me throw this out there for those of you in Twitch land and wherever else you might be watching this video, YouTube, what have you. Don't do something if you don't feel comfortable with it. This does take practice. You can, with practice, you can do this too. This is not, but this is one of the safer cuts you can make is shear scraping. I don't know why I have so much trouble remembering. There's a Florida turner. His name is Don. His last name starts with a G, and I cannot remember his last name, unfortunately. But he was instructor's assistant for Rudy Lopez, also from Florida, at Aramont when I took classes, a week-long class from Rudy. Don was there, and we talked a lot about shear scraping, and I found out he does the same thing I do. Well, he has several bowl gouges set up, already sharpened, and he feels like if he's shear scraping, he's turning, right? He's not sanding, so he has several bowl gouges set up, and he'll shear scrape until he's happy. But he's right; he's not sanding. But I keep several bow gouges handy, not just for shear scraping. I just get into the habit because I've been to do demos where there was no sharpening equipment available. So it makes sharpening your tools a little difficult. And you can vary the pressure against the timber with this cut as you can with every other one. So technically, I guess you could say you could hog off quite a bit. But really, this is Usually the last cut I'll make on a piece is the shear scrape. Usually, before I'm sanding, because I've done the push cut and maybe the pull cut. I've done the scrape, right? Each cut successively refining your surface as you go. The shear cut is typically the most shear and most refined cut, or most or finest cut, I should say. All right, so I'm going to sand this guy now. That means I'm going to have to run the compressor. So I got almost. Oh, hey, wow! I got almost all of the tear out. Almost all of it. There's just a little bit, but that'll sand out. So I'm going to sand the outside of the bowl after I set myself for a chuck hold here. Yeah, I'm still getting vibration out of this piece, but it is a very dense piece of wood. I couldn't exactly, I tried, but I couldn't get it exactly on its center of mass. Mostly because I had already split the log some years ago. There we go. So I'm hoping that my chuck hold, it should be fine, but that's why I didn't want to use another glue block, because this is such a heavy, dense piece of wood. I didn't want to run into the same trouble of having it come right off the lathe while I was cutting. Okay, so sanding time. It's sanding time again. And for that, I was already running at 400. I thought I was running at 600 or maybe 8. I was already running at 400. So I was already turning slow. Okay, where is my orbital sander? Where did I put you? Right there. Okay, need a little bit of oil. We're right at what, 10, or is it 10? Yeah, 5 after 10. Cool. A little bit of oil to the air tool. That piece of abrasive is trash. I'm going to go with this guy. Actually, I'm going to go with this guy first. Groovy. Let's see, I can't get the banjo underneath there, so let's move it in. Oh boy. Okay. Now I'll look for some sanding marks. New piece of abrasive, that was worn down. Not very often I get to turn an ash bowl. Well, gosh, because I don't have any. I could go, sure, I could find some. Well, you know, I'd rather turn it green. Same as with oak. I'd really rather turn oak green. It's just easier to work with. I remember right, I got some maybe cracks from the old pick where I'll have to take the rim down a little bit. We'll see. I guess I really, yeah, I do need that. Oh, no, I got this guy. No, I don't like what that's not doing for me. That's better. Something to think of it. My friend Joe gave me some roll-off discs that are larger than this. I wonder, ouch. Oh, I forgot. Need a Band-Aid. Here's one of these. Here's Band-Aid. I cut myself with a pull saw yesterday. So I do need to protect it. There we go. Alright, roll off. I think they're in here. Ba-da-da-dum. I don't know if that one will work. Although I may have to actually put, let's try that one too. I may have to put a different head on for these bigger discs, but I think I've also got, well, I know I have it. Oh, there it is. In this bag, I think I also have some of these smaller guys, so we'll go with one of those. And if the bigger disc doesn't work with this backup pad, I'll stick with the small guys. there. See one of the cracks. It's not where the tree came together though, which is right there. It's another pith. That's not where the trunks grew, the branches grew together, because one came out this way, here. Oh, I'm not pointing in there anyway. And this is where they're joined. One went out this way and one went out this way. And let me lift this camera up a little bit. There we go. So where my thumb and pinky are is where the more or less where the branches came out of the crotch, and then this is where they were joined. So the crack is not there. Okay, let's see if this will work. Okay, there does not appear to be any sanding tool marks except for that little bit right there. So I'm going to move back to that little bit. So I'm going to move back to my Vex sander. Just roll lock off of here. Because the roll locks are a little bit floppy. And I think even with the right backup pad, I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't have the right, because the backup pad does fit most of that. I need to get one. Now that I think on it a little more, I don't actually have one of those. Okay, so that is that part. And that dude is pretty much toast. This is, yeah. So we'll go with the Grex sander. Dropping all kinds of stuff down on the other side. It's just lovely. But it is because this dude wasn't quite balanced. What time are we looking at here? 22:17. All right. We're getting close to wrapping this or turning this bowl around. So we'll go with, we'll work through some grits here. Actually, I don't really need air for that. Yeah, it's looking mighty nice. So next grit would be 180. The audio still working here? Yep, okay, cool. And then we'll have some 220 sitting over here. So actually, I can put my blower back on the end of my air hose. Stop leaking. Make sure I'm not leaving any weird marks anywhere. That's a little bit right there. A lot easier to get to now. See, let's grab another one of those. Actually, I think I'll just go to 220 now. Okay, 220. See how that looks. My the abrasive paper here is, and the pad is heating up, so the glue wants to separate from the Velcro. Gotta watch that. Oh, that looks pretty nice. Okay, so now I'm gonna go 320. All right, cool. Moving right along. Is that a fingerprint? Yep. Dusty old fingerprint. Okay, where did... That is 150. That is not what I'm looking for. That's 800. That's definitely not what I'm looking for. 400 will be next. We'll take that one out now. There's 220. I know I've got 320 right in here somewhere. Need more 400. Oh, unless no, maybe I don't. I think I used up. I'm looking for a package of 320 that I've used up. All right. So that means I go to this box. 220, 180. Nope, not that box. This one. So there's my 320. Another bit of 320. This wears down really fast. See how that looks. Oh, it's starting to get some shine to it. What is that? I may have made a mark here, so let's see what happens when I apply some abrasive to that area. I might be being fooled. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's part of the actual wood structure and what's a sandy mark. Okay, that's part of the wood structure. So one more go with the 320. Oh, I don't need that. And now 400. Yeah, that's getting really nice shine to it. Very cool. And I expect the 400 to be worn down even faster. Come on now. Having trouble getting it out of the package. Oh yeah, that's a nice. So here's that feature I'm talking about. It looks like there's a bit of a crack in it. We'll see what happens when we get down to the inside and see if that I don't know if that'll go all the way through or not. Oh yeah, that's a nice surface. I want to clean that up just a little bit more. So one more go with the 400. I should learn not to talk when I'm bending over or squatting because it tends to come out straight. Okay. Whoops. You stick it too soon. Yeah, that did it. That's nice. That's nice. It's nice and has an even sheen all the way around. And I can see some of the curl is starting to show up. So once it has finish on it, it'll look pretty cool. Okay, let's set the sander aside. I need to blow things off a little bit. We won't blow that off. I have to evacuate for a little while if I do that. All the dust in the air. Okay, so this is now done. This part of it. So now I can get it into the chuck. That's still a heavy chunk of wood, man. Chuck. I did clean this one up too, but I didn't have to do anything on the inside. The grease that's in there, it was applied by the factory. Still looking really nice and clean because that back plate is keeping most of the stuff out. All right, so I had to come to the other side of the lathe for a sec to get pick things up here. Okay, these can go back into the drawer. Let a few things bailed on me. There we go. But you work with the lathe that you got. I don't have this lathe that does not have a lot of mass to it. I do have a bucket full of tire weights, lead tire weights, right down below the headstock. So that's definitely adding weight and helping out with vibration. This whole lathe, I guess, weighs, if I remember right, 400, maybe 450 pounds. I remember early days of turning on this lathe, putting things on there out of round or off balance or whatever, you know, made the lathe walk. It's like, yeah, I don't want that. Okay, so I need to get the tailstock out of the way. Let's move this guy. Don't tell me I got to get a new fitting here. This one just is constantly leaking by. And that causes the compressor to go off. Okay, let's see. I need my bowl gouge. I'm going to go ahead and turn the compressor off because it's just going to kick on. And I don't need it. Okay, come here, you. Come on. So, got a bowl gouge. We need a tool rest. Here we are. At the right height. Maybe. I think so. Yeehaw! Yep, tool rest is too low. There's a lot of mass there. Oops, a little too high. All right, so this is just going to be a tricky piece of timber is all it is. Tricky, but cutting through. Can you see that? No, you can't. I need to move the camera down. Sorry about that, folks. So you can see that figure running all through that, and that's really stinking hard. See if I can speed it up a little bit. Nope. That's about what I'm going to get out of it. Hey, easy now. It's time for me to get a little bit more light on the subject. Whoa, there goes my tailstock. I need to tighten that down. A little more light over here on this side. Let's see, I think I might need to, oh, not yet. It's heating up though. So I'm going to work my way down in stages for the wall thickness. And I've got to take my time because I'm turning at just a little bit over 400 RPM. Yeah, just a little bit over 400. I can't get it up any higher just yet. Let's see, is that hardened? That's hardened. Okay, so maybe I can make this pretty thin. That would be nice. Slow myself down a little bit here. I'm trying to hog off a little too much at this speed. There we go. Get rid of that mass since it's not supporting anything on the outside. And it looks like I need to adjust my tool rest again. Yep, I'm just a tad high. All right. See if I can turn it up a little bit yet. A little bit. All right. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and change out tool steel. Not really cutting the way I want it to. So let's take this bowl gouge. But like I say, this is some mighty hard wood. And I want to grab the calipers down here. It's pretty fairly even, but it could be a little bit more even. Okay. Hey now. Woohoo! What was that? Ah. Got a little bit of the, yeah, I can make this pretty thin. That's cool. A little bit of the rim broke out. Hey, God damn it. There we go. What I get for not holding it correctly. Yeah, that's plenty thin enough. Screw up that rim a little bit. We're looking at time. About 15 minutes left on the broadcast. Let's take a look at this rim here. Got a little bit happening here where the, well, I knew I'd probably have to take this down a little bit. You can see I'm getting so much vibration that my wall thickness isn't even. And there's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. There we are. That's an even wall thickness. There we go. Now I'm starting to work it out. Just need to slow myself down a little bit. hardwood. Okay, let's see. Do I need to take the rim down anymore? Yeah, I guess I do. All right, so we're not going to have a 13.5-inch bowl. That's a bummer, or a 13-inch bowl, but that's all right. It'll be close. See if that's enough. Not quite. I think that is okay. That crack is gone. That crack is gone. Oh, there's a new one. Maybe I gotta make this a smaller bowl. That's kind of a drag. Because I can't join that back together, and that takes me all the way down to everything I just... Well, that's a shame. We can't have that crack in there. That's not going to work. So I'm going to have to get rid of it. You see where it was wanting to split out right there. That was where that crack was at. Got to work with the wood, though. All right, that's nice and clean. Yeah, almost. Yeah, dang. All right. Let's see if that does it. It's right over in here that it was tearing out. Okay, that seems to have gotten that. All right, so it's going to be a shallower bowl. I suppose now, I'm going to leave this because I need to change the profile of the bowl now. I don't want it like this. So I will tackle this tomorrow or another day. And remind myself for the future not to, to turn ash green. At least crotchwood, or any kind of figured ash. That is some really, really tough stuff. And it just wants to shatter like glass. What the hell? There. It just wants to shatter like glass, but all the little cracks are gone now. So we'll leave this as it sits on the lid. And I will tackle this tomorrow or the next day. Fortunately, it's a seasoned piece of wood, so it's not going to matter that it's going to sit on the lathe like this. But this will give me a chance again to true this dude up again. I mean, there was just so much vibration in this. Yeah. That I couldn't keep my wall thicknesses even. I took out a little bit of it, so I don't have to remove too much on the outside. It means I'm gonna have to sand again, but I don't have to take too much on the outside unless, well, let's see. Really, I just need to change this down here so that this curve tucks in a little bit more, because we did have, I mean, an inch and a half, almost 2 inches of bowl up here. So now I just need to tuck this in a little bit on the bottom, which changes where the foot's going to be, but that's okay. It's still going to be a wider, small bowl. I wonder, I've got options now too that I wasn't considering before. And one of them is to make this a winged bowl, which I can do from here. I wasn't going to do it on the other piece because I wanted to try to, create the whole 13-inch bowl. And alas, that's not going to happen. Man, that is just a little bit of a bummer, but that's all right. It'll still come out to be a really, really nice bowl. Oh, you can see here, there was a branch coming through here that didn't make it very far in the life of the tree, so there's just all that figure right in the middle of it, normal wood figure, and then the figure runs all the way through. Well, the figure is going to come out a little bit here, but that it's going to be an extra nice little chunk to take out. But yeah, man, I think it's going to look just fine. I'm hoping that this bit here, no, that might be featuring the wood. I'm wondering if I've got another split. I may ultimately just, this has happened to me before, where you get into a chunk of wood, you don't know, you just don't know until you get into it what it's all about. I'm going to change cameras here, and things can change as you go. So I've had pieces where I've started off a 11, 12-inch bowl, and then had to take it down to, well, let's see. I think the most extreme I've had to do was take it, oh, that might split right there. Take it down from 12 to like 4 inches because I was just chasing cracks and splits all the way through, and I was about ready to give up and just chunk the piece. And I got rid of the last check in the wood, and I was down to 4 inches around. So I was like, all right, well, I guess that's the bowl it was going to be. So this will be, instead of a taller bowl, a more squat, wider bowl, which is just fine. I still have the option of giving it a little bit of a rim, a wing, so to speak, a rim. I can still do that. I may do that. Now that I'm in this shape, I may do that. Just give it a bit of a rim. And I think I will probably, you know what? Let's take a look at that real quick. I got a couple minutes, but it's 11 o'clock. Well, that's all right. I don't care. I'm going to do this anyway. I'm going to give it a little bit of an inward tilt. I don't think my rim is going to be any more than, that 3/4 of an inch. But now it's kind of tilted in a little bit. It's clean, and it will be enough to give me plenty of, so I won't have to take off too much, which is nice to true this up. So taking that and turning it into a swing will take, excuse me, some of that mass out too and make it easier to true up. So I'll have to flip, excuse me, dang. I'll have to flip this around. So I think what I'm going to do, actually it makes sense to do right now. I'm going to set up to have this in, well, let's see, do I want expansion mode or do I want, that's going to be tough to cut. Well, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to give myself a compression hold right in here. Let's see if I can get away with that. Just have to make sure I've got enough room for my chuck jaws to get into that groove there. Oh, you're not seeing that. Whoops. My bad. There we go. So I can get the jaws in there and get a compression hold. When I flip this around, this will be fairly true to that. I mean, there's vibration and whatnot, but that's running fairly true right there. So let me see. I need to grab my 1/4 inch skew. I'm going to give myself just a little bit. It looks like I've got a bit of a chamfer, but I'm going to give myself a little bit more just for that dovetail. And use my larger tool here, my homemade Badan, as a parting tool. I need to have that surface flat to sit right on top of the chuck jaws. So, all right, I'm all set now to be able to flip this around and work on the outside again, and then true everything up, and I should have nowhere near the vibration. I say that, but the density in the wood is very much different between where the feathering is and then this stuff. So a lot of the vibration has already gone. Sorry, I had to pause. I was just concentrating on that cut. A lot of the vibration is already gone, so taking what little mass I need to true it up will make everything run really nice and pretty. Picking up some tools here I got on the other side. To put those away. So that's going to wrap it up this evening. Like I say, I'll tackle this tomorrow or the next day. Not a big rush since it is seasoned wood, which is lovely. No extra stress. So I just need to sharpen tool bowl gouges in preparation for tomorrow. And we'll swap that camera real quick. Let's get rid of this guy, turn that off. That looks good. All right, so my name is Dave. I'm a wood turner. I started this channel. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. Fell in love with it, found out I had a knack for it too. And it's something, it's my therapy. It's something I really, really enjoy. I also found that I really love to teach it. So I started this channel to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator, and to help turners of all skill levels increase their tool handling skills, just become better turners themselves. And the more that I work with those things and the more that I repeat them, they get sunk more into my head. So again, I'm always practicing. Anyway, I turn a lot. But I want to be the best turner I can be. And that's what it takes. That's the secret sauce. It's practice, practice, practice. So, give yourself a little bit of credit if you don't think you need to be at a certain level compared to other people. Your level is going to be where you've put your practice in at, and that's what you need to work within. So, I do suggest, however, that regardless, especially if you're going to take classes, at least in my opinion, anyway, or I want to work with I want to work with other turners that challenge me. I want to work with other turners that have skills that maybe I want to foster in myself. So again, I'm always trying to be I'm always working toward being the best turner I can be. So I thank you for joining me as this part of the journey. I've made lots of shavings today, but that's where the fun's at, right? Making shavings. That's going to wrap it up for this broadcast, this Wood Turning Wednesday. I thank you for joining me. I hope you stay friendly. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And I hope to see you next Tuesday and Wednesday right here on Twitch, Wood Turning with Dave, 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looking forward to seeing you again. Thanks again, folks. Good night.